Namaskar, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, students and teachers and trainers, professors and professionals, listeners and learners, those who belong to science, commerce, arts and engineering, the most honorable President Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, respected Minister Doctors, honorable advocates, advertisers, administrators and advisors, Reverend fathers and mothers, affectionate sons and daughters. I, Dr.RKM from USA, heartily, cordially welcome all of you. Dear students, dear scholars, friends, simply and generally you are studying English. There are two kinds of grammatical words that we study. One form of the grammatical words is our fundamentals, permanent words of English grammar that you have studied in school, college, universities and in competitive classes that are known as parts of speech. Second type of grammar, that is grammar structural and you can say functional changeable grammar, means according to time, place and action the word is used. But when we talk about the parts of speech, every word is itself perfect and conveys its meaning when it is being used to speak, read, write and listen correctly, naturally. All our scholars, those who are studying in IELTS classes, India and abroad, they must know these fundamentals. This is the history of our words. And sometimes our scholars and learners of English are confused, puzzled by being artificial and not by being unnatural. Dear students, you know that English speaking is the subject of natural speaking. It can provide us accuracy, correction in speaking the words correctly and naturally. When you will speak it with present sense of mind, that is greatly required in our present scholars all over the world. English is an international language, so every student, every candidate is free to think about the words. It is the power, magic, music of the word that creates majestic effect on the heart and mind of the people. So likely that I would like to convey this message to all the university scholars, those who are studying in Harvard, Cambridge, Oxford, Edinburgh, Pennsylvania and different universities of the world. Especially from the research point of view, they must go through the research on words, group of letters. When they will keep it in their mind before speaking, reading, writing and listening, definitely they will know the accurate meaning and usage of the different words in English grammar. Dear friends, the basis of any language is its grammar. Correct grammatical usage of English is based on an understanding of its fundamentals and concepts. Concepts is very necessary. Without knowing the concept, our scholars are deflected and they forget. Just by cramming the words, they cannot get the real meaning and antonyms, synonyms of the words, and even multiple use of the words. This section provides a comprehensive, easy to use guide to speak and write simple, correct English. The peculiar difficulties faced by students and the common errors made by them are dealt with by simple illustrations. Dear students, for defining any person, place, and thing, a man is to think what, when, where, how, whose, whom. Simply, these words are also useful and applicable to be implemented while writing any word at its place, time, and action. What is a sentence? A group of words that makes sense but not complete sense is called a phrase. Our scholars and learners of English have crammed this definition. For example, a sad story of no use. And about the sentence they have studied, a group of words that makes complete sense is called a sentence. Undoubtedly, it is right. It is the proper definition of sentence. But sentence can be compared with the man, and a phrase can be compared with a plant or with a child, young one of the man, because in the anatomy and humanology, when we study and try to find equivalent and compare these sentences, then sentence is the complete form of human body, means man. And on the other hand, phrase can be compared with a child. If we talk about botany, it can be compared, a sentence can be compared with a tree, but a phrase can be compared with a plant. So, English language means grammar is not less scientific than other subjects. It is scientific, and the rules, regulations that we study in zoology, botany, that are equally important to be applied in reteaching, in making understanding of our sentence, phrase, and simple words of English grammar. Dear friends, how a plant is useful for our scholars? Because of its root, stem, unripened leaves, and without fruit, means fruitless. These are the specific features of the phraseology in English literature, language, and grammar. When we talk about a sentence covers bottom to root, root to fruit, all its parts. It contains stem, leaves, branch, everything along with its fruits. So that is meaningful in the form of study of grammar, especially about the sentence. For example, my mother told me a sad story. It is a sentence, and it gives, it expresses, it explains, it describes its complete meaning. Next is, this book is of no use to me. Sentences are of four kinds. Basically, kinds of sentences are the divisions of the ideas. ideas, that direct ideas which run in our mind before any, without any fragmentation, manipulation, and fabrication. When originally the ideas are used purely and directly, that is called simple, affirmative, assertive, declarative kind of sentences. Even sometimes these are called statements. A sentence that states or declares something is called an assertive or declarative sentence. A statement can be affirmative, positive, or negative. For example, the sun rises in the east. It is a fine example of positive sentence. In present indefinite it is being expressed here. Next is the fox did not like the grapes. It is negative sentence. What does it express? Negative thought of the mind. Next is a sentence that asks a question is called an interrogative sentence. That asks a question. For example, do you like grapes? Next, number 2 is, have you learned your lesson? Next, number 3 is a sentence that expresses a command, a request, or an advice is called an imperative sentence. These are the names of our thoughts, ideas of the mind that are classified and divided into the type of imperative, means that leaves an impression, that sets an impression on our action through the mind. That's why it is known as imperative sentence. And we say, shut the door. It is command. Actually, the commander of our body is the mind. Mind tries to command it. So these are the views, thoughts, ideas of our mind. Our mind is not always provides the same kind of ideas and thoughts, but it has different categories, divisions and classifications. According to that, our sentences are classified. Next is number 2, pass me the salt. Please. It is a kind of request. Number 4 is a sentence that expresses strong or sudden feeling is called an exclamatory sentence. Dear students, exclamation is the name of rise and fall in our emotions, passions. So it can be understood just by reading high and low beat of our heart, rise and fall in the heart. This is totally related to the action of the heart. So all our internal organs, how to behave, how to conduct each other and individually, this is a study indirectly of our heart, mind, lungs and all other internal organs, but especially about our mind. An advocate, a lawyer knows how to use the word, when to use the word, why to use the word, what to use the word. So these things are inculcated by the healthy mind. Dear friends, next is a sentence that expresses strong or sudden feeling is called an exclamatory sentence. For example, number 1 is, what a pleasant surprise. It means if we speak simply and we ask this question, we can put this sentence in the form of question, what a pleasant surprise. On the other hand, if we speak surprisingly with our heart, with a changing, converting beat of the heart, then we say, what a pleasant surprise. Means one man is in surprise. He is feeling surprising and being astonished. It means not that he is asking, because in the form of question, answer contains in the same form. Next is how hot it is. What does the sentence say? How hot it is. It means not that somebody is asking about the processing of the heat or hot. Simply it is being said and being created surprise. Points to remember. It is thus clear that one is every sentence begins with a capital letter. Sometimes our scholars and learners, those who write, especially heading thesis, dissertation, they commit such kind of mistakes. As per my personal experiences, I have noted down this thing, and they must think upon every sentence begins with a capital letter. Next is a full stop is placed at the end of every declarative or imperative sentence. These are indirectly the changes of the thoughts, how our tongue is twists, how our tongue twists, how our mind, thought stream of our mind breaks for short run, for long run, and fully. This is the representation of that. A question mark is placed at the end of every exclamatory sentence. Sentence can be rearranged and changed into different forms. Keeping in mind the above rules, for example, this child is very fond of toys. This child is very fond of toys. First of all, you will see what kind of sentence it is. It is an affirmative kind of sentence, but we are to change into interrogative in the form of question form. In the form of questioning we say, and we have to convert it. How? Is this child very fond of toys? Is this child very fond of toys? It is an interrogative. Words are the same. Number of words are the same, but we are changing just the place of the words, and by changing the place of the word, the sentence is being changed according to its meaning. So these three factors, time, place and action, these are equally important for knowing the complete study of the sentence. Next is, what a lovely day. What a lovely day. What kind of sentence is it? Exclamatory sentence. But while exclaiming, we are not asking. If simply we use the simple stream of the mind, how to change to assertive. It is a lovely day. Indirectly, in the form of affirmation, assertion, declaration. We want to say that it is a lovely day. But on the other hand, if we change the same sentence into the exclamatory, we not only speak differently, but we also write it differently with using the exclamation mark. And we use the word here, what a lovely day. What a lovely day. And on the other hand, we say, it is a lovely day. It is a plain statement, plain idea. But on the other hand, by using what? We are feeling surprise. Next is, you are a wonderful mother. Simply, it is an affirmative sentence. You are a wonderful mother. And if we are to change into exclamatory, how we will create exclaim? By using the structure of the different words at the different places in the sentence. What a wonderful mother you are. What a wonderful mother you are. What is it? It's an exclamatory sentence. She is ill today. She is ill today. It is also an affirmative sentence. And if we are to change into negative, how our mind stream of the thought will create negativity, and for the negation of the thought we will say, it is not ill today. Next is, Sita does not sing well. Sita does not sing well. It's negative sentence. And if you are to change into positive sentence, you will say, she sings well. It's a plain statement. There is a simple and direct thought of the stream. Direct stream of the thought is being run in our mind and we are speaking. Sita sings well. On the other hand, when we change into negative, we say Sita does not sing well. It is just not the change of the words, but also the change of our thought. Our stream of thought has been changed internally, and we have been negative for that action. When we create the negative action through our stream of consciousness, then we use it. Dear friends, English grammar to be understood by the deep analysis and observation of the words and stream of consciousness technique. Stream of consciousness techniques is that kind of technique which shows time and place, which is based on time and place. When time is equal, place is different. When place is equal, time is different. It happens while using the words and sentences in English. That is known as stream of consciousness technique. For example, in a negative sentence, only one note is used. Two negative make an affirmative. For example, one is, he is unable to stand. He is unable to stand. Here we are not using the word that shows, that expresses negative impression, but just we are showing the negativity of our mood. In our stream of consciousness technique, we use it. He is unable to stand. The word unable itself is the symbol of our stream of thought of our mind consciously. He is not able to stand. Indirectly, our mind, thought of consciousness knows this thing, that he is not able to stand. While listening, he is unable to stand. Next, he is not unable to stand. It is positive, and he is able to stand. it is. It is what it is. It is also positive. Both are the positive statements. There is nothing negative in it, but on the basis of meaning, on the basis of stream of consciousness, we understand it and our mind tries to reject it. It is our mind that shows rejection and dejection of the processing. How to form question tags. Sentences can be arranged and changed from one form to another. Means a group of words, the place, time and action of the words is changeable as per the study of sentences, as per the classification, divisions of the different sentences. Question tags are used to get the statements confirmed. The listener responds to the question tag. For example, she is beautiful, isn't she? She is beautiful, isn't she? What our mind is getting at that time and place and in action. What kind of action? Indirect action, hidden action. In our hidden action of the mind, someone is having beauty of something, so she is saying she is beautiful, and on the other hand, in other stream of consciousness, she takes turn in the form of energy. Positive energy is being channelized into negative energy in the form of isn't she. It is the form of interrogation. Next is in response to the tag isn't she, the normal answer would be yes, she is. Because the statement, affirmation, assertion, declaration say that she is beautiful. First idea, it has come in our mind. She is beautiful. And second idea, isn't she? It means we have become, our positive is more powerful than negative. So we say, yes, she is. Our mind first of all creates positivity and we become positive by the first step of thinking. If the statement is affirmative, the question tag is negative. If the statement is affirmative, how we will prepare the question tag? Question tag will be negative. So this is the reverse processing of our mind. That is also the matter of our stream of consciousness. That is also the matter of thought, ideas that we think. If the statement is negative, the question tag is positive. Both are reverse each other, or we can say contradictory. For example, one, we are proud of him. We are proud of him. Aren't we? Positive statement and negative question tag. Next is, you haven't done your work. What is it? Negative statement. And question tag will be positive. How? Have you Have you? It is a positive question tag. A few examples of adding question tags. One is Madhu is proud. Isn't she? Next is Rakesh drives well, doesn't he? Number 3 is it is not fair to leave him out, is it? 4 is he will make an excellent reporter, wouldn't he? 5 is Indian farmers haven't progressed much. Have they? 6 is you don't take sugar in your tea. You don't take sugar in your tea, do you? This road doesn't lead to the railway station, does it? These lights are of a very superior quality, aren't they? I don't owe you any money, do I? We should not violate rules, should we? Question can begin with. One is interrogative pronouns. What are interrogative pronouns? Who, whose, whom, what, which. All these are interrogative pronouns. And questions generally are discussed by beginning these words in these sentences. Next is interrogative adjective. The same word that we use in the form of interrogation also are used in the form of interrogative adjective. When we say what color, which child, means just after the interrogative word we use the name of the word in the form of noun. Any noun, any name we can use after the interrogative word, that becomes interrogative adjective. Next is interrogative adverbs. What are interrogative adverbs? Scholars, listeners, learners, simply you know that when, where, why, how far, how long, how often, how soon. These are interrogative adverbs. Because these words qualify and gives the information, complete information of the verb or action. What kind of action is being implied? It is being fictionalized by using the interrogative adverbs. Dear friends, points to remember. Interrogative pronouns who, whose, whom generally apply only to person, not for the things. Who, whose, whom. Every word in English has its own meaning and its perfect use of the word. In the particular sense we use the word. Next is number 1. Who has taken my book? Means we are just talking concerning about the person, not of any non-living being. Next is whose pen is this? Means honor. Honor cannot be any non-living being here. Only living beings in the form of person. Third is whom do you want to meet? It is also concerned, related to the inquiry about the person. What can be used for person as well as things. For example, what is in your purse? The use of word what. There are two uses of the words, for person and for thing. We say in first example, what is in your purse? Means we are talking about the thing. What thing your purse has? Two is what is he? What is he? What is also being used for person, which applies to both persons and things. It can be used for person and thing. When we try to know, investigate, probe, and try to speak, read, write, and listen about anything, then we use it. Which thing is yours? Which person is your brother? It is generally used to select someone or something from a group. It is the necessity that there must be a group while using the word which. It is necessary and essential. For example, one is, which of you has stolen the book? Which of you has stolen the book? Interrogative adjective are used with nouns. Interrogative adjectives are used with nouns to ask a question. For example, we say, example 1, which road leads to your house? Which road leads to your house? Means we are inquiring about the road. And road is not a single road, but multiple roads are there. And so we are using this word for the non-living being as well. Next example is, what color is your hair? What does it mean? Means we want to know the color of the hair by using an adjectival word here. In the form of adjective, the word interrogative word is being used here in the form of an adjective. Next is, whose pen is this? Whose specially can be used for a person, not commonly. Interrogative adverbs are used in the following manner. For example, why is she absent? Why is she absent? It means that for what reason? We are asking the reason. Next is, when did you arrive? Means at what time? We want to know the time. Where do you live? Means we want to know the place. At what place? How did you do this? Means we want to know the processing. In what way? Manner, style, skill, standard, everything is counted in how. How far is your school? Denoting distance. How many girls were present? Means what number. So dear students, next you will read parts of speech that our all university scholars all over the world, India and abroad, they are learning. Overseas advisors are also advised about the parts of speech. Word overseas advisor especially are guided about the word. Words are classified according to the particular function they perform in a sentence. These classes are called parts of speech, There are 8 parts of speech. One is nouns. What is a noun? Simply our students has crammed it. Our students have crammed time and again the same definition in their mind, and they do not try to convert, change, modify in their words. That words has become concrete and cemented in their mind. That's why they cannot take it simply. What's the one word meaning of the noun? That is name. Everything around us we have in the form of person, place and thing that has name behind it. A noun is the name of a person, place, animal or thing. Nouns are of 5 kinds. In Hindi you have studied there are 3 kinds of nouns. Similarly there are 5 kinds of noun, but 2 are extended. First 3 that they are known as secondary kind of noun, labeled nouns, branded nouns, but primary nouns are material nouns. Our human body is also a noun. What is apparent, direct, in the form of primary things, in the form of material we study them. And whatsoever is implied, hidden inside this human body, which is unseen, untransferable, that is the abstract noun. So dear students, listen carefully. How do we classify it? How do we define it? Proper noun is the name of a particular person, place, or always begins with a capital letter. It is the thing to be remembered by our grammarians, by our old scholars of English. For example, India, London, Gangas, these should be always begin with a capital letter because of proper and particularity. These are proper, special. For showing their speciality, we have to use them by writing capital form of the letters. One is India is a great country. India is a great country. I is always in capital. 2 is London is the capital of England. L is in the capital. The Gangas is a holy river. Z of Ganga is capital. Next is common noun. Word itself says that the things that are commonly found, and when we use a word for the common person, place and thing, that is called common noun. Common noun is a name which is common to all person, place or things of the same kind or class. Everything around us whatsoever we have, commonly, generally, that is the form of common noun. For example, boy, king, city. Simply we say, for example, Ravi is a clever boy. Next is Akbar was a wise man. 3 is Mumbai is a big city. So there are 3 kinds of common noun we have used. In sentence 1 we have used boy. Second is king. 3 is city. Number 3 is collective noun. Collective noun stands for a collection of person. Collective noun stands for a collection of persons or things considered as one complete whole. For example, crowd, army, team, flock, etc. For example, number 1 is a huge crowd gathered at the site of the accident. Number 2 is Indian army is very disciplined. Here the word army. Number 3 is the team had 11 members. In example 3, we study here team. Team, army and crowd. These are the words of form in the form of collective noun. Next, number 4 is a material noun. stands for the matter or substance of which things are made. For example, gold, silver, stone, wool, cotton, etc. Dear friends, you know that one is ornaments are made of gold and silver. In it, gold and silver is the symbol of material noun. Next, number 2 is iron is a heavy metal. In it, iron is the symbol of material noun. 3 is cotton clothes are suitable for summer. Here, cotton is the symbol of material noun, whether it is non-metal. Next, number 5, an abstract noun is the name of some quality, state or action. For example, something which cannot be seen or touched but only thought of. For example, quality, human qualities like goodness, wisdom, cleverness. Next is state, manhood, poverty, sickness. These are form of state of mind. Next is action. This is in the form of laughter, theft and revenge. Laughter, theft and revenge. These are also the actions of our mind, internal actions of our mind that can be felt only, cannot be transferred from one place to another, cannot be touched. Formation of abstract nouns. We can form abstract nouns by adding suffixes like se, as, l, ams, thumb, wood, it, ice, meant, nest, shape, sun, etc. From private we say privacy, marry, married, short, shortage, arrive, arrival, dismiss, dismissal, assist, assistance, free, freedom, absent, absence, patient, patience, boy, boyhood, human, humanity, clear, clarity, just, justice, appoint, appointment, pay, payment, blind, blindness, friend, friendship, omit, omission, broad means breadth, grow, growth, act, action, invite, invitation, cruel, cruelty, honest, honesty, know, knowledge, please, pleasure, think, thought, fail, failure, speak, speech, proud, pride. You can know the difference between these two different kind of sounds and letters of the words. Nouns are broadly divided into two categories, countable and uncountables. What are countable nouns? Countable nouns are those which can be counted. Generally, most of the common and collective nouns are countables. A countable noun has a plural, for example, dogs, rivers, trees, etc. Countables are generally used with such words as a, one, few, many, etc. For example, a child, one pupil, few apples, many people. Next is uncountable nouns. Word itself says uncountable means that cannot be counted. What are that kind of nouns? Are those which cannot be counted, as they are only one of a mind, one of a kind. They are generally used with words like little, much, etc. An uncountable does not have a plural. We cannot say Kanpurs, Milaks, etc. We cannot think of prides, kindnesses, etc. Proper nouns and abstract nouns are generally uncountables. For example, poverty, honesty, America, etc. Some words can be used as both countable and uncountable. For example, stone. One is, the houses are made of stone. Here stone is uncountable noun, because uncountable stones are used to build building. Next is, he threw a stone at the door. It is countable noun because of the action. The stone is in action. Soap is uncountable, but we say cakes of soap. Paper is uncountable, but we say sheaves of paper. Some nouns are used in singular and plural both. For example, gold, furniture, dust, smoke, etc. For example, no one is, I gave her all my furniture. I gave her all my furniture. Here is singular. Two is, they gave us all their furniture. Here furniture is plural. One is, the table was covered with dust. It is singular. The tables were dust. Here tables is plural. Some nouns have the same form for plural as for singular. For example, step 1 is, there is a sheep in the field. 2 is, these sheep have a lot of wool on them. Next is deer. 1 is, this deer runs very fast. 2 is, these deer are from the zoo. Next is dozen. 1 is, I have a dozen pencils. 2 is, she gave the children 5 dozen pencils. Some nouns are generally used in the singular form. For example, news. It looks plural, but it is singular. How to use in sentence? How we can use this word in example? This news is not true. 2 is physics. Physics is my favorite subject. 3 is politics. Politics is not meant for youngsters. 4 is scenery. The scenery in the painting is beautiful. Mathematics. Mathematics is a difficult subject. Some nouns are generally used in plural form. For example, cattle. It is not the singular, but while making sentence, if in a word in the sentence in the form of subject, if it is plural, then we use plural verb. And what does the mean of plural verb? It means first form of the verb. Cattle. The cattle are grazing in the field. Cattle is plural, so we are using the plural form here. Out of ismr we use are here. Next is trousers. His trousers were dirty. Trousers is plural, so out of was and were we use were. Gentry. The gentry was present at the function. Gentry is plural and we are using was in place of were here. Spectacles. What is the word spectacles? It is plural and we use the form of plural, that is, where are my spectacles? Next is measles. Measles is plural and the plural verb is here out of ism or is are. Measles are contagious. Dear students, next topic is our adjective. An adjective is a word used to add something to the meaning of a noun. For example, a beautiful girl, my pen, this man, 4 boys, some bread. Adjectives are of 7 kinds. One is adjectives of quality. What is the meaning of quality? It is the hidden concept of our mind. When we try to judge the quality, when we try to observe, examine something, that is the form of quality. Describe an object by telling us in what state of. Describe an object by telling us in what state, of what quality, of what kind the object is. They answer the question, of what kind? Of what kind? It is the use of our brain. Here is the use of our mind. Our mind tries to classify, try to divide. For example, one example is Ram is a lazy boy. Lazy is qualifying the noun boy. 2 is he has a black pen. He has a black pen. Black is qualifying the noun pen. The lazy and black are adjective of quality. Next is adjectives of quantity. Show the quantity of the thing named. They answer the question, how much? For example, one is he ate same bread. He ate some bread. Some is qualifying the noun bread. Some is qualifying the noun bread. Next is he has enough money in his purse. Enough is qualifying the noun money. 3 is there is little milk in the glass. Little is qualifying the noun milk. Next is adjectives of number. Show the number of persons or things named or in what order. They answer the question, how many or in what order. For example, number 1, a week had 7 days. Dear students, it's the fine example of adjective of number here. A week had 7 days. Next is, all men are mortal. All men are mortal. Here all word is the symbol of adjective of number. 7 days is the adjective of number. He stood fast in the class. First. First is the symbol of adjective of number. While praising class, while qualifying the noun class. Next is demonstrative adjective. Demonstrative adjectives point out which person or things are meant? They answer the question which. For example, this book is mine. This book is mine. Number 2, those mangoes are sweet. Those mangoes are sweet. Here we are using the word those for the noun mangoes. This book is mine. Here we are using the word this for the book. Such men are dangerous. Here we are using the word such for man. Next, number 5 is distributive adjectives. Distributive adjectives show that the person or things named are taken one at a time. For example, one is each man carried a dog. Each word is a symbol of distributive adjective, and we are using the word along with man. Next, number 2 is every child must go to school. We are using every word for qualifying child noun. Either pencil will do. Either we are using for qualifying the word in the form of noun pencil. Next is number 6. Interrogative adjectives are used with nouns to ask questions. For example, one is which book is yours? Which book is yours? 2 is whose pen is this? 3 is what kind of man is he? Next, number 7 is emphasizing adjectives are used to stress a point. For example, I saw it with my own eyes. On is the emphasizing adjective which is being qualified the word noun eyes. This is the very point I am making. This is the very point I am making. Here the word very point. The very point is being used as emphasizing adjective for making. Dear students, next is formation of adjectives. We can change nouns and verbs into adjectives by adding suffix like able, all, are, full, ik, ish, eve, less, li, aus, some, etc. These are the names of the sound. What kind of sound? That rages in our mind while the change of our stream of our thought consciously. And these are the emotions, passions in the form of ray of light, waves of sound. We study these words. Advice, advisable. Terror, terrible. Industry, industrial. Nation, national. Circle, circular. Angle, angular. Beauty, beautiful. Use, useful. England, English. Fool, foolish. Talk, talkative. Harm, harmful or harmless, useful or useless, child, childlike, friend, friendly, day, daily, danger, dangers, fame, famous, trouble, troublesome, anger, angry, need, needy, science, scientific, sympathy, sympathetic, wood, wooden, affection, affectionate. Comparison of adjectives. Adjectives of quality have 3 degrees of comparison. One is Mary is a clever girl. It is a positive degree here. When we use the word clever, next sentence number 2 is Anu is cleverer than Mary. It is a comparative degree that we are using in the form of cleverer, and we are comparing Anu with Mary. Next is Sheila is the cleverest of the 3 girls. Here is the superlative degree, the cleverest. Especially we are praising Sheila for her cleverness. The first sentence is an example of positive degree, where no comparison is made. For example, strong, clever, brave, etc. The comparative degree denotes a higher degree of quality than the positive. It is used when 2 things of the same kind are compared, as in the second sentence. The word then is normally used with for it. For example, stronger, cleverer, braver, etc. The superlative degree denotes the highest quality. It is used when more than 2 things of the same kind are compared and the article the is used before the superlative adjective. The third sentence is an example of the superlative degrees. For example, strongest, cleverest, bravest, etc. Rules for changing degrees. Rule number 1. Generally, comparative is formed by adding er to the positive and est to the superlative. Loud, louder, loudest. Small, smaller, smallest. Bold, bolder, boldest. Thick, thicker, thickest. Big, bigger, biggest. Next, rule number 2. If positive degree ends in E only, ra is added to the comparative and end to the superlative. Wise, wiser, wisest. Wise, wiser, wisest. Brave, braver, bravest. Noble, nobler, noblest. Large, larger, largest. True, truer, truest. Next rule. If the positive ends in one consonant and the consonant is preceded by a short vowel, the final consonant is doubled when R and S are added. Fat, fatter, fattest. Wet, wetter, wettest. Thin, thinner, thinnest. Hot, hotter, hottest. Sad, sadder, saddest. Next, number 4 is if the positive ends in Y and is preceded by a consonant, the Y is changed into I when R and S are added. Happy, happier, happiest. Lazy, lazier, laziest. Merry, merrier, merriest. Wealthy, wealthier, wealthiest. Heavy, heavier, heaviest. Next, rule number 5. If Y is preceded by a vowel, the Y is not changed into I. Gay, gayer, gayest. Grey, grayer, greyest. Next, rule number 6. Most of adjectives of the 2 syllables and all adjectives of more than two syllables form comparative and superlative by adding more and most respectively. Beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful, intelligent, more intelligent, most intelligent, courageous, more courageous, most courageous. Next, rule number 7. Some adjectives form their comparatives and superlatives in an irregular way. Good, better, best. Bad, worse, worst. Little, less, least. Later, later. Later, later. Later, later, latest. Much, more, most. Correct use of adjective. Some, any. Some is used in affirmative sentences and any is used in negative sentences. For example, one example is I have some books on this subject. Means positively we say I have some books. Some is the symbol of positivity of our mind. Next is I don't have any books on this subject. Any is the symbol of negativity. In interrogative sentences, some is used if the answer is affirmative, and any is used if the answer expected is negative. For example, I am tired. Could you give me some time off? Next, number 2 is I hope you can do it yourself. Do you need any help? Here, next is the use of much and many. Much means a large quantity of and is of used with uncountables. Many means a large number of and is used with countable. For example, much ink, much sorrow, many books, many days. Next word is little and few. Little is used with uncountables. Few is used with countables. For example, little help. Help is uncountable. So we use the word here little. Little hope. Hope is also uncountable. Number of ideas, thoughts that are created by our mind, they are uncountable and we use the word little for them. Few is used with uncountables. Few is used with uncountables, like few days, few glasses. Little, a little, the little. There are three kind of the form of words. One is little means almost none, means negative. Negatively we speak, I have little money, I cannot afford to buy sweets. Meaning is clear? Totally, I am unable to buy sweets. A little means at least some. A little means at least some. For example, I have a little money, I can afford to buy sweets. I have a little money. A little is positive. The little means the whole. Means though very little. The little knowledge is dangerous thing. A little knowledge is not dangerous. Little knowledge is not dangerous. The little knowledge is dangerous thing. The little money I have is not sufficient to buy sweets. Next is few. A few, the few. Few means not many. Example, few people know me. Means not many people know me. A few means some at least. For example, sometimes a few friends meet me. The few means all of them, though very few. For example, the few friends I have are very loyal. Elder, eldest, older, oldest. Elder and eldest are used with close family relations. My eldest sister is getting married. It's a symbol of close relations. Next is older and oldest are used to denote age of persons and things. For example, one is Neeraj is older than Raj. Number 2 is Rita is the oldest sister. Number 3 is this is the oldest pair of shoes I have. Next is later, 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 latest, last. Later and latest denote time. For example, one is we shall go for a picnic in the later half of the month. 2 is what is the latest news. Later and last denote position. For example, one is though Nina and Tina went together, the later returned home earlier. Next, number 2, she stood last in the race. Nearest and next. Nearest denotes distance. For example, one is which is the nearest hospital. 2 is next. Next denotes position. For example, her house is next to mine. Thank you, listeners and watchers. May God bless all of us for knowing the truth of language to literature, science to spirituality. धन्यवाद, धन्यवाद भाइयों बहनों. Thank you very much.